Very excited now to be joined by Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars quarterback. You're here on behalf of Zevo. Appreciate you joining, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
We're going to talk about Zevo here in just a second. I want to lead off with the offense this year. It felt like to me, and you can tell me if I was wrong about this, felt like first half, second half, two pretty big splits there. It felt different. Walk me through what happened in the first half, why things kind of felt like it got better in the second half.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. I think just in general, when you have a new staff, new system, a new offense that all the guys are running, it's a little bit of a learning curve, especially this system compared to what we ran in the past. It's a big change. So to get comfortable with that takes some time. And obviously you have a lot of work in the off season, but until you have, live bullets flying and you get to learn from real reps in games, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to click than maybe you would anticipate. So I think that's a big part of it. I think also with our offense, we really figured out who we were about that halfway point in the season. What's our bread and butter? What are, certain guys on certain routes and different plays we like, and all of the things just started to click. I feel like as we started to play with a lot of confidence as an offense in the passing game specifically. We ran the ball well all year, but I think in the passing game, that's where it took a big jump. Just the confidence that I had in the guys out there, they're making a bunch of big plays, and then them that they had in me to put the ball where it's supposed to be on time. Guys trusting the details of the offense and the system, and you saw it start to pay off towards the end of the season.
No doubt. And when you say like that bread and butter, this is who we are as a passing game, now that you kind of feel like you figured that out in the second half, what would you describe that identity as?
Yeah, I think it changes, week to week. You have to do more of certain things, less of certain things. But I would say just having that consistency. Jacobe was a huge part of that too, totally. As far as that consistent guy over the middle, making the contested catches over the middle, being able to attack the middle of the field. And then Parker, a lot of the yak and the run after the catch that he was able to create at the end of the season was huge to create some more explosive plays. We weren't having to just take shots to create explosives. Yeah. We could throw it across the middle, catch and run for 20, as opposed to just having to throw a deep ball. And then BT was also able to stretch the field vertically. Mm-hmm. So we kind of were able to piece it together and move guys around to where it wasn't obvious necessarily what exactly we were wanting to do every play. And those guys were versatile enough to change it up, but that became our bread and butter and where guys really excelled.
Well, since you talk about the receivers and you say bread and butter, my bread and butter is actually studying the wide receiver position. So that's what I dive into the most. So I want to kind of go through all of those different guys and talk about like strengths, weaknesses, deployment, things like that, because that's where I kind of agree. Like once everyone's settled into roles, and that's how it is with the receiver, like one guy is not the same as this guy. It's very different player to player. But you mentioned Jacobe Myers, like one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. What did you think of when you guys brought him in and how he fit into the offense?
I was really excited. I've watched him a lot over the past few years, just seen him play. The way he plays was something that I always liked. He's really tough. Just catches everything. Makes a lot of contested catches. Can create separation at the top of routes, so he doesn't get enough credit for that.
Such a good route runner, man.
He's a great route runner, has a lot of feel, can run, and he knows zones. He's smart. You can tell he has good spatial awareness. So all those things I was excited about. And then I just heard about the type of person he was. I heard great things once we got him from guys that play with him, and that kind of solidified, all right, I'm like super excited because that's the only thing. You don't know a guy personally. You can just see him play, and I know he's a good player. But, yeah, that piece, and he's really unselfish. That's the cool thing is you watch him block. I think everyone that wants to be a great wide receiver should go watch him block. And that's something that teams need and your teammates know. Our O-line loves that guy because they see how he blocks on run plays. And that means a lot as far as just building the culture of your team.
Yeah, it doesn't get you the fantasy points, but like blocking is huge at the wide receiver position. Spatial awareness, too, probably the most underrated trait that you can look for in a wide receiver right now, especially in today's game with all the zone coverages. You mentioned Parker Washington. He's a guy who's been on the team for a minute now. He wasn't a new addition. What went into his ascension this year? Was it a role change? Is it just growth as a player? What was it?
I think he's always had a ton of ability and really hard worker, and we've played a little bit in the past. We've gotten some reps together just because – before it was Christian was our slot, Christian Kirk, and we had a great chemistry relationship, but then he got hurt and Parker had to come in. So we did have some reps in the past. So I think that helped us jumpstart that process once he became the guy when Travis got hurt about halfway through the season. He knew he was going to get the reps. He was going to be our starting slot. And it was pretty seamless, the transition, just because he'd put so much work in to prepare for that moment. He'd learned the system. Even though he wasn't getting starting reps, he knew what to do. So when he got his number called, he was ready to go. And then I think just from his, athletic ability, the explosiveness, the run after the catch, how he can just feel where defenders are and make moves in space. I mean, it's pretty unique, and that's really just natural talent, a lot of that. Yeah. But he works really hard, though, so I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I have these kind of like stupid little designations I throw out sometimes, especially with slot receivers. It's like, well, there's the pop gun slot receiver guys. You throw them the football in the short area, kind of catch and fall. Then you got those more vertical slot players, explosive down the field. He definitely, I think, showed he fits into the latter group there.
Yeah, he can do it all. I think you can work the underneath stuff, and he can catch and break a tackle and turn it into 4-yard catch into 12, 15, 20 yards, and then he also can run crossers. He can run slot fades. He can do it all. He's not a tall guy. He's shorter, but he can go up and high point the ball. Has crazy vertical. I mean, he can go up and catch it. So it's not like you're limited to we can't throw it down the field to him. And that really helps him because it's not. You don't know what route he's going to run.
Right. It feels like a guy that's going to be really tough to take off the field after what he showed last season. You mentioned Travis Hunter. Admittedly, I'm a huge fan of Travis Hunter as a prospect. I thought he had the potential to be like a truly special wide receiver if he focused in on that position. But we know he's doing a lot. He's playing two ways. Do you have any sense of what his growth is going to be like, where he might be playing more and more, what his role is going to look like, especially on the offensive side?
I think just the way, the way he is, his personality, I think this injury in rookie year is only going to just make him better. I mean, he's a guy that really
the timing of that was just brutal.
Oh, no. He was starting to really get going on offense, and we were starting to click. So it was tough timing, and I really hated it for our team and for him. But I do think he's going to look back on it's an area where he could grow and get to sit in meetings and see installs every week and not necessarily have the physical stress on his body, but he gets to learn, and he'll feel even more confident coming into the spring of knowing the system. But who knows as far as offense, defense, that split, I don't know what that's going to look like. It's not necessarily my decision, but I think it's going to be wherever the team needs him most. And obviously he can play both. He's shown that he can. So who knows what the rep count looks like, but I know he's a special receiver when he gets the ball in his hands. And just his ability to go up and make any catch is pretty unique, and not a lot of guys have that. So as a quarterback, you want to see him on the field on offense too. Yeah. But to your point, Parker's earned his opportunity as well. So we got to figure out the best way to go about that, and we got a lot of guys that can play, and that's a good thing. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you're like, hey, this is good. Love the depth. Love the depth there. And Brian Thomas is a guy that had a great rookie season statistically. This year, a little bit of a drop off from the stat sheet wise, but you mentioned fit in really well as that kind of like straight line X receiver, stretching the field there. And that's an important role, even if you're not getting the football. What's kind of your relationship with him? How did he handle this season, and what are you looking forward to going forward with him?
He handled everything really well. I think it's no secret that it wasn't the year that he wanted to have.
Sure.
And he'd tell you that. But it's not he put a lot of work in. Cares a lot. He's unselfish. You look at the way, same thing with him, the way he grew as a player and the way he blocked for guys in the run game, guys after the catch. He'd run down the field, be the first one to block. Just the steps that he took in that area. And obviously the production wasn't the same as his rookie year, but it's the NFL, and there's going to be times where it doesn't go your way always. And I was proud of the way he responded. Every day came to work, didn't complain. There's a lot of guys that, a lot of really great players that could not have handled that situation as far as not getting the ball as much as they thought they should. And he handled it with grace, was a professional. And I'm really excited just to build this offseason because I know he's not only a deep, go ball receiver. Sure. He can do more than that, and I know he believes in that as well. So, we're going to be able to do a lot with him this year, and we just got to keep getting better. And he's so young. He's 22, 23 years old. It's guys have to go through a little bit of some bumps in the road. I've had mine for sure.
I was going to say you're proof positive of that it's not always just like steady upwards. It can be a little up down, like progression for any of us. Shoot, in my line of work too, it's not always just progression is always upward linear. Like you have your bump. That's life, man. You're here on behalf of Zevo. Tell the people what you got going on there.
Yeah, we're here with Zevo. This is it's a flying insect trap product they have. You plug it into your wall, and for us being in Florida, we host a lot at our house. Family, friends, bugs get in the house. We're going in and out from our outside area to the kitchen. So this is huge for us. The hosting, for everybody in their Super Bowl parties this weekend, you should get one. Takes care of all the flies, all the fruit flies, anything you get in your house. So it takes care of them, and it makes hosting great, and you don't have to worry about bugs because they're a problem in Florida for sure.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this because this is a good chat and I want you to get your plug in. I live in Southeast Virginia. It came from LA where there's not a real big bug problem, but I'm a big smoker guy. I have my barbecue set up out there, but the flies love to come in, so I'm gonna have to look at one of those. So
you should get some, man.
All right, love it. All right, Trevor Lawrence, appreciate your time, man. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Awesome, thank you.
Have a good
appreciate
offseason,
you guys.
man.